the strings.
Woo.
Alright guys, so besides it being windy, today's a sad day for Jamie's car. Crank no start, having some issues, so I'm going to winch it up on the trailer, take it to the shop, and try to figure it out. I think she's too upset though, because she's been driving around the WRX. Kind of sad seeing this thing on the trailer. Last time it was on the trailer was when I bought it like 3 years ago. Poor Saab GTR. Went ahead, got the Saab pushed in here with the help of David and Ty.
Have you ever seen those videos? Every time I push heavy cars, I think of those videos where people snap their Achilles tendons and they're pushing heavy shit.
And you think that's gonna happen to you?
I mean, I always push stuff by myself, usually.
Yeah, Dave always pushes stuff by himself. I push stuff with Dave though. So check this out. So we'll put her in park. Listen to this. It almost sounds... Huh? It almost sounds like it's gonna start.
It almost sounds like it's down still.
Can I give it a... Should we just give her some ether and see what happens?
Yeah, let's do that first.
Should we?
Yeah. Ether is always the best way if it's not getting fuel. Where are you going to spray? You got to go on, pull that, right there.
Okay.
Is this on?
Okay, Dad, yeah.
Are you sure?
We're filming, man. Filming.
Are you sure this is? Oh, okay, I see the little cord. It's in a different spot than mine.
We're filming, man.
Is this starting fluid? Wow, orange can. Lawnmowers and Mustangs. Hell yeah. Look at that.
Yeah? I mean,
Hondas and Mustangs.
Hondas more than Mustangs.
I thought lawnmowers were Hondas.
I mean, mine smells like a damn lawnmower. Hey, what size do you think it is?
I don't know.
Probably a 7.
It's probably like a 6.5.
Probably a 7. Dave, you're 6.5.
It's like one of those 5.5 Chinese sockets that you never have.
There, it's a freaking quarter. I don't know what we're doing here. Oh, jeez.
What is it?
Nothing. I haven't found it yet.
Just get a Cressy out.
It's stupid. We're missing the 7.
I don't know why.
That's an 8 right there, and that don't work. We need a 7.
Why don't you
I
just,
don't know. Yeah, why would we be missing a 7?
I don't know. Maybe it's in
Missing a 7 right here.
maybe it's in the Supra. Maybe they're all in
a 7
Supra.
right here.
Look at this. This is the Universal 7.
Yeah, that's what it is.
You know what they call these, right?
What? Universal 7.
Hey, let me unscrew it, Maurice. Bitch. Here, you get it.
Give me that. Give me that universal joint right there. You think this thing's
Oh,
messed up?
it's probably good now. I mean, it might. We'll see. I think it has maybe a blown head gasket.
No. It's a Saab, man. It's something. It's gotta be
They
something.
blow head gaskets.
How long do you think it's gonna take to get this ether to the?
About 5 seconds. Oh yeah.
That's it.
Hell yeah. Wait for the fireball to come out of there. That's niche compression.
Huh?
No compression.
No, it has compression.
No.
Shut up.
Do a damn compression test on this thing.
Shut up, David. We're gonna get to it. Oh, have this thing in here right now, and we did a compression test earlier, and it was pretty bad. It was about 50 psi on these front 3 cylinders. Sprayed starting fluid in there. Wouldn't start with starting fluid. Checked the fuel pressure right here on this little Schreider valve. Didn't actually hook a gauge to it. Just hit it with my finger with a rag and stuff on it, and it blasted out of there. Seemed all right. So it has spark. It has 50 psi compression. The interesting thing is where'd it go? Oh, so this was the cover that was on it the night that I said that it was basically smoking and doing a bunch of stuff. So you can see right here, this looks like that was getting ready to catch fire, and then this thing right here was smoking bad. And that pretty much goes pretty much right here. So the O2 sensor in that area was kind of smoking that, and then you can see like this is like the EGR stuff right there, and that was getting super, super hot. So I don't know. I think, I don't know. Dave told me head gasket from the get-go, and I don't want him to be right.
Doesn't have any compression.
I mean, it's stupid. I mean, I don't know. It's my fault. I know it's my fault. So, because what we did is we replaced this thing because it was leaking a little bit of coolant. It was leaving a little bit of coolant on the garage floor, and so then anyhow, I replaced these hoses, and like a month ago, and then was still leaving a little bit of stuff there. So then I replaced this as well as the new cap. So this is aluminum instead of the old ones are plastic, and sometimes they'll separate at the seam. Obviously, like really, really hot turbo and a plastic coolant expansion tank right above it isn't a recipe, like a good recipe. So replace this with the newer updated one, again, esaabparts.com. But then maybe, I mean, I didn't turn on the heater and like let the coolant cycle, and that pretty much goes right into like the whole heater stuff. So maybe,
well, that should be, those are like swirl pots almost.
I mean, I just don't know, because like I started it up, and then even when we got home, or even when I got to the house, like it had coolant in it. It still has coolant in it. I didn't,
probably lower than it was.
I didn't put coolant in it. Like, and it has green. Like it had green in it when I initially got it, and then you know, we swapped out. So when I got this car, it was about 3 years ago, and it was wrecked in the front. Replaced the whole front end, all that type of stuff. The headlights, the radiator support, the intercooler, the grill, you know, fenders, hood, all that stuff. Long time ago. But man, I don't know. I don't know what's up with it. And the other thing is I literally just put a brand new windshield in it. We did the all-wheel drive service on the what do they call it? The
Angel gear?
No, what is it called? No, so the the transfer case fluid, the rear diff fluid, and then it's the type of Haldex, the Haldex gear, because it's like an electronic clutch type of thing. So change the fluid in that, and was like, all right, you know, a couple months ago we put brand new coil packs in it and spark plugs. I mean, I've been really nice to this thing. It has 150,000 miles on it. Had about 120 when she got it, and been daily driving it for almost 2 years now, and it's been nothing but great. And then I changed that thing, and then it just, I mean, obviously something was really freaking hot. Like,
has it only been a year? Oh, it's Carson.
Carson's like 2, almost 2, and she had it when I think I got it to her when she was pregnant. So, because we drove baby Carson home from the hospital in this thing. She hit her first boost in this thing. So, I don't know. I guess I'm going to do one last compression test on the back of it. I posted in one of the Saab groups on Facebook, and they said that sometimes the timing chains jump on these things and do some weird stuff, or the guides wear out or fail. But there's no weird sounds coming from it.
How hard did you rip it at?
But the thing is, so I literally pulled in the driveway, and it was steaming. Like, you know, obviously there's coolant and stuff on the engine and all that other stuff from the hose disconnecting back there. So, I mean, I just gave it like a little rip, like right before I got to the house, pulled in the driveway, and it was like smoking, and I like literally thought it was on fire. So I was like, okay, like open the hood, like it was still running, like was checking all the stuff. I was like, all right, whatever, like backed it out of the driveway, went and gave it like a really, like a good rip, like a really good rip. Like, and then, like, but it wasn't smoking out of the exhaust. Came back, it was kind of doing the same thing, let it idle for a minute. I actually cracked that thing, like I opened that and looked in it. It didn't have like an absurd amount of pressure. I just don't know why. I don't know. I literally don't know why it's doing this. Like why it won't start. Or why it only has 50 psi compression. But I'm going to check the back and then maybe hook up the big scanner. Because I don't want to replace the engine on this thing. But I also don't want to diagnose this thing for like 3 days when there's another engine just over there. I mean, yeah. I mean, it doesn't have... I don't know. It could... like because it's oil-controlled like VCT gear. Because it has dual variable stuff. So, I mean, maybe that's it. But they all have 50. It's just weird. It's just weird. So, I'm gonna take off that...
time, but
Yeah, but you would think that you would hear it. I don't know. I'm gonna check the compression back there, and then we're gonna go from there. Some guy said that maybe it could have just flooded. I don't think if I have any fucking Saab plugs.
You know how you fix this? You know how I burned my hair last time? You got a barbecue lighter?
Well, let's compression test it real quick.
Let's barbecue lighter it really quick.
Let's compression test it.
Barbecue lighter.
What we should do.
Give me a barbecue lighter.
Let's compression test it.
It don't fucking, it's not gonna hurt anything. Barbecue lighter. I don't think there was enough fuel in there to light this thing. Oh, that one did. That's one that cleared out now. That one was the only one that had enough fuel in it to fucking light. I think this back here is fucking. Woo! Told you. There was fuel in there. Barbecue lighter. I did that with a Sentra. I was like, thunk, thunk, thunk. The last one, I was wearing a hoodie and it shot 4 fireballs into the burn my hair.
So you're gonna do that other one now, or?
It probably just squirted. It turned the engine over.
Wow, that was sketchy. David?
Yeah, it don't smell like fuel anymore back there.
You think that was just one?
Yeah. Oh, there's a good cylinder. 75, almost 80. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah! 30 PSI!
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking head gasket, that ain't valves.
Well, you think I can do it tonight, or like start on tonight, put it out to pasture?
I mean, you have an engine, I don't know, it's gonna take some time.
I mean, I know I could get it out tonight.
Mm-hmm.
You know, get the cradle down and all that shit, and then fucking go to Denver tomorrow, pick up that bullshit, and then be back here tomorrow.
Yeah.
So we have some bad news. So the front three were about 50 when we checked them previously, before we had all the spark plugs out. And then the back one, we have 75 over here, like 25 to 30 right here in the center hole. And then right there at 75, right under 75 for this one. So I don't know. Honestly, I don't know what exactly happened. Maybe it did get hot. Maybe the timing slipped. I think on some of these things they don't actually have a keyway on the timing stuff. It's just kind of on there and tightened. Is how I did a 2-liter one a while back. It didn't have any keyway or anything. So maybe what it did is it got really, really hot. Dave kind of is thinking about this too, but it got really, really hot, or Dave is actually the one who thought about this. It got really, really hot, and then basically kind of got cold and then shrunk, and then when I started it the next day, maybe it, I don't know, it's so weird though, because it literally ran perfect. Like, couldn't tell anything was wrong whatsoever. Backed it out of my driveway into the little side yard, and then like moved the other car out of the garage, and then it sat over there for 2 or 3 days, and then just went out, and it cranked, sputtered, wouldn't start at all. It did like sputter for a second, and then it just ever since then hasn't started. So we're gonna do a little bit of oil in there. I think it's definitely something has to be timing related. So Dave's gonna, should we give it like a little pump? before.
You can.
So that way it doesn't have like a crap ton of oil in there, so it's not like a hydraulic pressure, it's like an oil pressure. We're gonna see if this bumps up the compression at all, and then if it does, then I don't know what that means.
If it does, we'll just stick a bunch of oil in there and start it up.
And then what?
I don't know.
Then that's it, huh?
And rub the shit out of it. Hopefully the pressure comes back.
I mean, it's just so weird. So weird. But the crazy thing is, I mean, the amount of time we spent even just doing this today. Like, I could probably already had this damn cradle out of here. And we'd be on our way to an engine swap.
I mean, the Challenger, it only took me 3 hours to pull that whole thing out.
I mean, we're at 11 o'clock at night. I mean, I could probably get this thing out tonight and then probably back in tomorrow.
Do that again? It's gonna sound weird.
All right, so compression test with oil. What are you thinking? What do you think the results are going to be?
I mean, I don't know. They're pretty low already. I think give her.
Smells like fuel now. Here, point the.
I mean, that's almost 100. Maybe it's maybe you got hot in the
Piston rings butted?
yeah.
Yeah. It's just so weird because there wasn't anything crazy.
We could get it to start. We'll just pour oil in all 6 of them and put the plugs back and it'll start.
All right, let's do
long as it has
it.
8.
Let's do that and then we'll figure it out. And then put the other engine in it, I guess. Or either that or Jamie's gonna start daily in the Civic. Dave's theory.
Oh man, I think the turbo's smoked too. I'd try, but we might have to put some more oil in it. Keep it running. Oh yeah, Smoke Show City. I don't know. I feel like it might have some ring stuff going on.
How weird is that? Like what? Like seriously, what? What in the hell?
Well, it's running.
Yeah, but
Once you get running.
yeah, but it like that runs like. That's what it normally freaking sounds like. Looks like the Civic was running in here. Jeez. Damn Saab. Yeah, see you later. See you later, Smokey. So, the only thing is the oil pressure light, and that's been on forever. No check engine light. Literally, this runs like, it runs fine. That is so weird. I mean, I wonder if it's just the coolant lines off of here.
No, that's coming out of the housing.
I mean, maybe
That's exhaust.
maybe it has a cracked fucking. Actually, it could be the. We need to get a fan going in here. This is super, super weird. Literally, 50 compression, not running, not starting, not doing anything. I'm glad David had the idea of putting the oil in it because we were getting ready to. I was getting ready to pull the engine. I'm like, screw this thing, no compression. But like it's running fine. Like this is how it just runs. So the one thing that these 2.8s actually do is they have a flex pipe, because the turbo, it takes both, you know, and wires them together right here, but it has a flex pipe right down there. You can maybe see it. It's right where that light is. But basically the flex pipe gets a crack in them, and that basically looks exactly like this. So it has one of these on there, and it's very, very common for them to crack and basically start losing exhaust. So the little bit of steam and smoke that we were seeing kind of coming out is actually coming out right here. If you stick your finger right there, it's super hot. I mean, it's almost like you're, like literally like you're putting your finger like in the exhaust stream, especially going into the turbo. So I was almost thinking maybe the cat is getting clogged or something from Jamie driving it around like a grandma and not like really, really ripping on it. And then I like fully ripped on it, and then maybe that's just making it a little bit worse. But man, it's really hot right there. Like, I don't think it should be that hot. And then it was basically pushing up that exhaust right here, melting this thing, and then shooting it back through here, because it's going under this heat shield to right there, and that's why it was smoking and doing all that stuff. And maybe that's why all these things were kind of being weird to begin with. But just check the coolant. It's perfectly fine. I don't know, I think we're gonna go drive it and see what happens. Like, this is just so weird. I'm kind of scared to turn it off, but maybe we'll go drive it. I got the heater working, the coolant cycling, no check engine lights whatsoever, and I have no clue. This is so weird. I took it for a little rip, come back, and the turbo manifold, or the turbo's red. I mean, it runs fine. I don't know. I'm gonna see if I can get her a little bit more red for you guys, and then cause I forgot the camera. But man, Jamie's car with the tune that's on my car would just be a monster. This thing is like, the way it shifts and uses the power, it feels so much faster than my my manual, because you don't have the shift delay, especially taking off from like a stop, like starting, like stoplights and stuff. Like mine, it's just kind of first, second, you know, kind of get into third, then you could rip it. But the shift, you just have to shift it too soon. Whereas this thing, it just goes. And this one gets actually a lot better mileage on the highway because the RPM's a lot lower. But yeah, we'll give you guys a little rip. This thing's pretty quick. Acceleration from like 30 to like 90 is just crazy in this thing, and especially just cruising on the highway, passing people. I mean, man, I love these Saabs. I mean, you can see how disappointed I was when I thought I blew this thing up. If you guys are ready to look at a red turbo manifold, I'm going to show it to you guys. You guys ready for this?
Ooh, that smells like cat.
Kind of does smell a little catty. Woo! How you doing? Yeah, I wonder if it's just the, like, what do you think, cat?
It smells like cat.
You think it's the kitty cat? River?
I'm gonna touch it.
Go touch it. You wanna cook some eggs? I mean, that thing's freaking red. I mean, I know they get red, but I mean, no smoke, no knock, no tick, no nothing, just freaking rip and Saab. So yeah, I have absolutely no explanation of that other than, well, I guess maybe I do. So one of the guys on the Saab thing he said that if you just start them up really quick and you turn them right back off, that sometimes they could kind of flood. It kind of doesn't give them a chance to like heat up and kind of burn off all of, you know, either like the condensation or the fuel vapor or something out of the cylinders. He didn't say that specifically. He just said that they kind of could flood. And I think that's probably what it did. And I don't know, it's just really weird. But I'm definitely glad that tonight turned into basically just putting the spark plugs back in with a little bit of oil to kind of seal them back up. I think that's actually what it did, is I think it kind of washed the cylinder walls of the oil in the oil ring, so it kind of lost a little bit of the compression, and that's why it wasn't starting, and that's why it was like literally like 50 psi compression, which is just so weird to me still. But then putting the oil in the cylinders and firing it back up, then like it basically just came back to life. And I've turned it off and on like 20 or 30 times. I mean, I went and I drove it, it came back, turned it off, and went and drove it again, and everything seems good. So I guess, you know, I'm glad that I'm glad that David was here, because honestly I was getting pretty frustrated. I was getting ready to just pull that other engine out and just do the whole swap, and that would have been, you know, probably a solid 12-hour job, you know, just buttoning everything up and cleaning it up and doing all that stuff. But I guess that's it. So lesson learned, a proper diagnosis is and kind of researching all the options and really like kind of connecting the dots of like, could this, like, everything did not point at a head gasket. It was just doing really weird stuff. So again, I love these freaking Saabs. I know you guys, some of you guys love them, some of you guys have hated them. I would say a solid 20 of you guys have actually messaged me with like pictures of Saabs that you've actually bought. Like, hey, I went and bought this off Craigslist. So I mean, I know that I'm kind of planting the seed in your guys' head that these things are good. And really, it's somebody explained it perfectly. It's like the fun of like a turbo Honda with the budget of like a super low budget. It's like how do you explain it? He said it's like the European like sports car ish, like BMW with like the Honda budget, because really these things are cheap, and especially when stupid stuff like this happens to them, people go to the dealership, or, you know, go to a mechanic that doesn't know anything about Saabs or how quirky or whatever they are, and then they basically tell them, oh, it needs a new motor and it's going to be like $4,000, and, you know, they're like, okay, whatever, I'm gonna put it on Craigslist for $1,000, and then you go give them $700 for this amazing piece of machinery, and then you put some spark plugs in, and, you know, it's just, I don't know, it's kind of a weird thing. But proper diagnosis, not giving up on them, working through the quirks, and man, they're a lot of fun. But yeah, turbo 6-speed automatic all-wheel drive, freaking Saab. This thing's tight. That's gonna be it for this video, guys. Let me know what you think. I'm kind of leaning towards maybe kind of clogged-ish catalytic converter. For now, we're just gonna kind of run it without this thing on it, because I think that's just kind of getting a little bit mad. And then I might do them up pipes. I'll probably drive it around a little bit before I actually let her put it back into service. But again, appreciate you guys watching, and see you guys later.